The Registrar of Political Parties, Anne Nderitu, now says her office cannot initiate the process of removing from office elected leaders who resign from political parties that sponsored them at the last election. Nderitu says the focus of the office for now is to facilitate Kenyans their right to belong to parties of their choice. This as close to 1 million Kenyans resigned from various political parties believed to have been enlisted without their consent. Sam Gituku spoke to the Registrar Anne Nderitu and filed this report.
With just over 2 weeks to the deadline for political parties to beef up their membership recruitment ahead of the general election, the Registrar of Political Parties has been busy receiving and processing requests for transfer of party allegiances. Part of those shifting parties are elected leaders. By law, they should lose their seats, but the registrar says it takes a process.
It's a process, which the starting point could be moving from one party to another. But there are different many other processes. But for this office, we want to concentrate mostly on political rights. That Kenyans have a right to move from one political party to another. Other institutions of government and governance should do their part.
2 weeks ago, the Jubilee Party National Delegates Convention resolved to remove from the party's register persons that had shifted allegiance to other parties. Key among those were Deputy President William Ruto, who leads the UDA brigade.
The Deputy President promoted the affairs of UDA for 4.5 years. Duale used his office as a leader of majority in Parliament to advance and the ideals and popularize UDA from within Parliament with the hopeless permission of the Speaker of the National Assembly.
Be deemed to have ceased to be members of Jubilee Party and be removed from the register of members of Jubilee Party. Wanaunga semeni ndio.
It's one thing for an NDC to pass a dissolution. It's another thing probably whether they followed the due process. Maybe unless the results of an NDC are filed with the registrar, it's impossible to confirm whether the due process was followed. Because I know there's a process by which a member of a political party should be subjected.
Jubilee Party Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni has threatened to cause action against persons that have left the Jubilee Party.
I would like letters to the county assemblies asking them that they remain faithful to the law and the provisions of the law, because the same must be triggered by the party, and that is what we will do. Evidence of having moved on is the payment that was made and the receipt that was issued by the party.
The law, however, does not allow filling of an elective seat 3 months to a general election, meaning even if the affected leaders were to be removed from their seats, it is highly unlikely that a by-election would be held. According to the registrar, nearly 1 million Kenyans have resigned from their parties, majority believed to have been enlisted without their consent. So far, there are just over 24 million Kenyans registered in political parties, some of them not registered as voters in the IEBC register, which before cleanup has just over 22 million registered voters. The parties are now working around the clock to clean up their registers before submitting to the registrar for certification by the 26th of this month.
The first thing that we'll do is to run that register submitted by political party against the register that we maintain. And then we'll be able to notify the political party that, for example, out of 1,000 members registered by that political party, 100 are already registered in their parties.
Political parties will only be allowed to use the certified registers to conduct their party nominations, especially where party members will be required to vote in person. Sam Gituku, Resign TV, Nairobi.